it's Primary Tuesday. The day is here, and NBC4 is your place for real-time results as you decide who heads to the November ballot. So the polls opened at 7 this morning, and the clock is counting down to when they close at 8 tonight. More than 23 million registered voters are set to make their voices heard. And this morning, we have live team coverage on the big races we've been following for months now. We want to kick things off with NBC4's John Klimak and the LA mayoral race. John.
Is there? I don't hear anything. Hi there. We are in Boyle Heights with Mayor Bass, who today is going around doing what she says she needs to do to make sure that she gets that final push of votes and trying to sway voters to make sure they side on hers.
Is continuing our grassroots effort, going to neighborhoods all over the city, talking to people, letting them know what has been done and what the future of our city looks like. A future that is affordable, where housing people can afford to be in, where there's good paying jobs, union jobs as the assembly member mentioned, and a city that is safe.
Yeah, Mayor Bass spoke with volunteers with the group Women Action March here in Boyle Heights, touting her work to decrease homelessness in Los Angeles and lower crime, still trying to separate herself as a political insider from her closest opponent in the polls and former supporter, council member Nithya Raman.
I have a very honest message about the challenges that we're facing today and what we need to do to take on bigger things as a city, to have a more hopeful and resilient future. It will require change. It will require hard work. It will require grappling with this moment. And I think that honesty does have purchase with voters. And I'm hopeful that it will continue to if I do prevail and continue through to the general. Councilmember
Raman voted this morning at her polling place in Silver Lake, knowing that she surged in the most recent polls, coming from behind after the NBC4 and Telemundo 52 televised debate last month seemed to stall her momentum. And the third candidate, the newcomer to politics, Spencer Pratt, no planned events today, but speaking with our Robert Kovacic last night.
I'm going to win the election with 51% of the vote because I believe that it's the first time in at least 10 years people can vote for something that's a complete change. Now that I know all the problems of the city, for all the people's trauma that they're dealing with, the fear, the danger, the fact that now I'm in a position to help people, like how empowering that feels, that's why I do it.
Still anybody's game. It remains to be seen. We talk about these polls leading up to the primaries, but the truth happens today because these are the votes that actually matter. The polls close at 8 o'clock tonight. Reporting live in Boyle Heights, I'm John Klimak. I'll send it back to you.
All right, John, thank you so much for that. So we're also watching the fight for Governor Newsom's seat. If you're just jumping in, let me give you a little heads up. This section of your ballot may feel overwhelming. NBC4's Brittany Hope is live in the newsroom. Brittany.
Hi, Annabelle. If you're opening your ballot for the first time today when you go to vote, you are going to see more than 60 people who want to fill Governor Gavin Newsom's seat. But recent polling shows voters appear to be zeroing in on 3 top candidates. And one of them is Democrat billionaire Tom Steyer. He was in LA this morning and rode the Metro D line with this final message to those heading to the polls.
This state is unaffordable, and there's a reason for it. And that is that corporate special interests are driving up costs. And I would say, look, we can't change that unless we're willing to take on the corporate special interests.
Huge theme of this race has been affordability, and all of these candidates on your screen say they think they are the person who can make life for you and your family better. Here is the message from fellow frontrunners, Republican Steve Hilton and Democrat Javier Becerra.
The quickest way we can put more money in people's pockets is to take less out. In other words, to take less away in taxes. So the first part of my tax plan is your first 100 grand tax-free.
No more studies, no more task forces. We have homes to build right now. Then we will expand California's down payment assistance program to make sure these new homes go to you.
Steve Hilton will be watching the results at a watch party tonight with supporters in Huntington Beach. Javier Becerra has been in Sacramento and will be back in LA tonight as the polls close. And Tom Steyer is traveling back up to San Francisco for a watch party. What happens in this primary election will determine if 2 Democrats or if a Democrat and a Republican will face off in November. In the newsroom, I'm Brittany Hope, NBC4 News.
All right, Brittany, thank you so much for that update. And there's still plenty of time to get out and vote or get those mail-in ballots where they need to go. Polling places open bright and early this morning and will be open all day for you. We're going to be tracking the pulse of voters, any lines and issues right here on NBC4. And NBC4's Lauren Coronado is live at Cal State LA. Lauren, these are newer voters. What are they telling you about what's bringing them out to vote today?
Annabelle, that's right. We've seen a few younger voters who've come out, and they say that they really want to make sure that their voices are heard during this primary election. We're at Cal State LA, so yes, we're starting to see some of those college voters, but we're seeing voters of all ages. A lot of them say this is a great spot because it's close to their homes. Really, convenience is key, and I think that's what LA County was trying to do. We are talking about more than 600 polling places just in LA County, including the one right here. And here's why some of them said it was important they voted early today.
A lot of the resources that we need in education, housing, the biggest thing right now is affordable housing. There's a lot of displacement, a lot of people that can't afford to pay the rent.
We came out here to vote because we feel like every vote matters and it's important regardless who you're voting for.
To make sure that the right person gets into office.
Yeah, there are more, like I said, than 600 polling places open across LA County right now, and many, many more across SoCal. Polls are open until 8 o'clock tonight. You can drop off your mail-in ballot at a polling place or designated drop box. If you're mailing today on Election Day, you'll need to get a hand-stamped postmark from a postal employee inside a U.S. post office. But of course, you have all of those other options to make sure that your vote is counted. Now, if you already voted, remember, you can also check the status of your mail-in ballot. You can find a link on our website, NBCLA.com, and our NBCLA app as well. We have a ton of resources there to make sure that you get your vote in. Stay with us throughout the day for the very latest. Reporting live, I'm Lauren Coronado, NBC4 News.
Yeah, I'm glad so many people are going out to vote. Lauren, thank you for that. And remember, the NBCLA app has your complete voter's guide from breaking down the candidates to the propositions and, of course, where to vote. Stay with us for continuing live coverage all day long. We'll bring you the latest on the races live in our newscast, plus the real-time results when the polls close tonight. Our live election night coverage begins tonight at 8 on the NBC Los Angeles News Channel.